Welcome one and all. My name is Chris, and I will be your digital tech trainer for this tutorial video. Today's topic is shortcut keys. Ideally, we will cover 4 main points. What are shortcut keys? Different types of keyboards for different types of folks. Common shortcut keys. And app shortcut keys. Let's get started with our first topic. What are shortcut keys? Keyboard shortcuts are keys or combinations of keys that provide an alternative way to do something that you typically do with a mouse. Compared to reaching for the mouse or navigating a menu, a single keyboard shortcut shaves a moment of time off your task. This might not seem like much, but if you often have to work with a computer and you add up all those saved moments over a week or a month, you're actually gaining a substantial chunk of time. That's why it's important to know as many shortcuts as possible for your operating system. After this video, I advise you to try a few shortcut commands and practice with them several times, and you'll find out just how useful it all can be. Let us now look towards a common example of how shortcut keys are activated and function. The keys Ctrl and Z for the PC operating systems. This is the shortcut for the undo command. Most shortcut keys are a combination of several keys on the keyboard and should be thought of as pressing down the first key named and holding it down while simply typing the second key once. In some cases where you have 3 keys listed, such as Ctrl, Alt, and Delete, you should press and hold the first 2 keys while simply typing the third. Let's look at this in action. The undo or Ctrl-Z command for PC users, or Command-Z for Mac users, no matter what program you're running, undo will roll back your last action. Whether you've just overwritten an entire paragraph in Microsoft Word or deleted a file you didn't mean to, this one is an absolute lifesaver. Here I have 4 sentences. I am going to select it by clicking and dragging with my mouse and delete it. I will do so for the remaining sentences. I have now deleted all 4 sentences. You can see that if I press Ctrl and Z, the computer has brought back the last sentence I deleted. If I continue to hit Ctrl and Z, it will continue to memorize the different actions I have already performed and undo them each in turn. As stated, just as you can revert the changes to text or undo deleted text, you can do the same with deleted files. Here is a simple text file. I can click on it and ask it to be deleted. And if I want to change my mind and undo this operation, I can hit Ctrl and Z and the file will return. Now let's briefly discuss different types of keyboards, because frankly, there are hundreds of different keyboards out there. Many of them specialize to different tasks, but others arranged to function with a particular operating system. We won't go into too much detail, as this could easily be a video topic all to its own, but just to make you all aware that keyboards can vary key location or could utilize different shortcut keys than those mentioned in this video. There are large print and large type keyboards out there, generally used by those of the hard of seeing, or kinder or educational keyboards that might highlight a variety of different areas on a keyboard, such as punctuation or vowels. There are gaming keyboards that come in a variety of shapes or sizes for different computer games, or ergonomic keyboards that might help those with back issues or who have to sit or stand in a particular setting for a long period of time. There are a variety of different stylish keyboards that might come with backlighting or different shapes, and on-screen keyboards, found often under accessories or accessibility options, which allow your mouse or computer trackpad to be used as a keyboard. There are keyboards with different key layouts and keyboards with different character arrangements, such as the well-known Qwerty keyboard. There are various language-specific keyboards, such as the top two here, which are both French language keyboards. This one is more or less a standard keyboard with different characters for the French language added on, where the bottom keyboard here is the Qwerty keyboard. It arranges some of the letters in a different pattern and adds some French language options. But what is the standard keyboard? That would be the Qwerty keyboard. Why is it named that way? Well, Qwerty, the first letters on the keyboard. Why is it not arranged ABCDE? When keyboards were first becoming a thing, they experimented with different layouts, such as Qwerty. This one is the one that kind of won out. Trying to take your left and right hand and put them in such a way that they do not have to be moved very much to allow for optimal typing speed. Now let us discuss keyboards in terms of operating system. Here we have a standard desktop PC or Windows-based operating system keyboard. You can identify this as a desktop model specifically because it has keys to the right of this blue line. On most laptops, there is no numpad, which would be this component here. Many of the keys here, such as Home, End, Insert, or Print Screen, are combined with some of the keys at the top right of a laptop keyboard, whereas the arrow keys are squished down into the bottom right of a keyboard. On most standard PC-based keyboards, or Windows keyboards, you will see a Windows key, often next to the Ctrl or Alt keys. There are often two of them, one on either side of the spacebar. For Apple users, here we have a standard desktop Apple or Mac OS operating system keyboard. The top one is the desktop, whereas the bottom one is the laptop. Again, you can see anything to the right of this red line is not really the same on the laptop. Here, the arrow keys are again squished into the bottom right, and there is no numpad. And some of these function keys here are present as alternative functions on the top right of the keyboard. An Apple or Mac OS keyboard also has, instead of a Windows key, a Command key, which can often be seen on either side of the spacebar. This is also known as a cloverleaf key. Again, we see a function key, typically on most keyboards of either PC or Apple design. This will have a different color than the font on the rest of the keys, and you might see some buttons that have the same color, maybe blue, maybe green. If you press the function key and the button with that same color key, it will perform that function. It is important to note that not all keyboards are the same. If you are interested in building up your typing speed, if you have to use a variety of different devices for work, if you are transcribing, working in accounting, or learning a new language, it is important to note these differences and adjust accordingly. During this video, I will use the above drawings of a standard desktop PC keyboard and desktop Mac keyboard to highlight the arrangement of each of the shortcuts I talk about. These drawings should ideally duplicate the layout of most users' own hardware devices. As an example, here's the shortcut we already discussed, the undo command. Ctrl-Z for PC users, or Command-Z for Mac users. With that out of the way, let's move on to some common shortcut keys, and we will start with the redo, the opposite of the undo command. we have just been talking about. The redo shortcut allows a user to bring back a change they have already undone. That is, if they change their mind once again. Just like the undo command, it can be used several times in a row to redo several actions, one at a time. Let's look at an example. Here we have a number of the same sentence. I can change some of these words, such as brown to red, fox to cat, and quick to slow. If I want to undo these changes, I can hold Ctrl and tap the Z button, and if I do this repeatedly, slowly each word will change back as I continue to press the button. Now let's pretend I wanted to change my mind and redo the same action. I can hold Ctrl and tap Y, and if I hit it repeatedly, it will change back one action at a time, until there are no actions left to change. It is worth noting that if you save a document and try and use these functions, sometimes they will work and sometimes they will not. It depends on the specific program. These features also work with formatting changes. We can change font colors. We can change formats such as italics or underline, or even font size. And using Ctrl Z for undo or Ctrl Y for redo, these actions can be changed. Just like many of the other common shortcut keys, redo and undo can be found under one of the menu systems, specifically under Edit. If you look here, next to a command, you can often find the buttons needed for a given shortcut to fulfill that command. While we are on the topic of preventing data loss, now would be a good time to mention the Save shortcut. When pressed, these keys will make sure a copy of your current work is saved to a document. The first time it is used on a new document is similar to the Save As command, and will prompt a window asking what you want the new document to be named and where to store it on the system. As an example, here is a new text file. If I hold Ctrl and press S, a dialog box will appear as the Save As command, because this document has not previously been saved. You can see here, I am prompted to give a new file name, and I can select somewhere on the system to store this file. For every time after I hit the Ctrl and S together for the Save command, it will simply save the document under its current condition. Next is the Open shortcut. This little command is most often used when you are already in a program and want to open a previously used document you have already been working on. By pressing these shortcut keys, you will be given a window that should show your computer's document folder, or the location of the last file used by that program. In this case, if I hold Ctrl and hit O, I am given a window that shows the location of the Untitled 2 document, the one we just recently worked on. Another commonly used shortcut is the New command, which opens a blank or new document in most applications. By holding Ctrl and tapping N, you can see a new word processing document has opened. If I switch to an Excel program, hold Ctrl and tap N, I can also get a new Excel window. Furthermore, this can be done with Internet windows as well. Here I have Google Maps open. If I hit Ctrl and N, here is a new web browser window. The next shortcut is the close window or close command, Ctrl+W for PC users or Command+W for Mac users. These next two shortcuts are closely linked, this one and the one I will show following it, and are a little different between PC and Mac users, so pay close attention. The close window or close commands don't always work in PC applications. They are app shortcuts for PC users and common shortcuts for Mac users, meaning they should always be available on Macs, but may vary by program with PC users. The particular program I'm using right now is LibreOffice, commonly used with PC-style operating systems. You'll notice if I hold Control and press W, nothing is happening. I can go to the File menu system and see that there is indeed a close command, but there is no attached shortcut keys for this command. If I switch over to a web browser, such as Google Chrome, I can use Control and W, and you'll notice one by one it closes the various tabs until the program itself closes. Here we have the quit or exit shortcut commands. Rather than close one particular window or one file open in a specific application or program, those two words being synonymous, this shortcut attempts to close all files open in that program at once. Once again, these commands don't always work in all PC applications. They are again app shortcuts for PC users and common shortcuts for Mac users, meaning they should always be available on Macs, but vary by program with PCs. PCs have a unique shortcut separate from this that we will cover next. But for now, you'll notice if I go to the File menu, that under Exit LibreOffice, we have Control and Q. If I hit these two keys to activate the shortcut, it would often quit the program right away, but if you do not have your document recently saved, as we can see here by a red dot next to the little disk icon, this document has not saved its most recent change, and therefore we are prompted with a dialog box encouraging us to save before we actually exit the program. The close program or exit program shortcut is the PC version of the common shortcut for the close or exit commands just discussed. Pressing these keys in combination will attempt to force closed any active application. Just be aware you might want to try to save your data first. Here we have a Google Chrome window with 3 active tabs: Google Translate, a Google Search, and Google Maps. I can press Alt F4 and it will try to close all 3 tabs at once. Note, it did not ask if I want to save the active tabs. I can try this again using Microsoft Excel. Here we have 2 different Excel books open. There is no data here, but if I press Alt F4, it will close the program without prompting a save. You may have heard of the term, if all else fails, Ctrl+Alt+Delete. This particular phrase has been around in computer speak for many years now. Often, this is considered the shortcut of last resort before having to restart the computer. Often these shortcuts are used to bring up the Task Manager in Windows or the Force Quit window on a Mac. Although neither shortcut closes a program by itself, these menus and options they bring up allow users to close applications or programs that have frozen or appear locked up and are preventing the computer from being used any further. Let's look at what this process would look like. Here we have the Mac user's view. Once you press Option, Command, and Escape, you should have a window that pops up saying Force Quit Applications. To close an offending program, you simply click on it, like the preview program here, and then click the button Force Quit. This should close that particular application. For PC users, it would look something like this. Once you hit Ctrl, Alt, and Delete, it might take a moment, but your screen should turn to something like this, with several options listed. You would need the Task Manager. Once clicked on, it should bring up a window similar to this. Again, if a program is running slow, it may take some time before these windows show up. You would simply look for the program that is not responding. It often will say those words, and simply click on it, and then click on End Task. That should close the program and solve your problem. The print shortcut is mostly self-explanatory. When pressed, these keys open up a print window in almost any application, allowing you to choose between options for printing the current open file, picture, document, or website. In LibreOffice, if I hold down Ctrl and hit P, this is the window that would appear. Note that it shows you the ability to change printers, select a range of pages, the number of copies you want, and other various printing options. I can also switch to a web browser. Here is a Wikipedia webpage for skunks. If I hold Ctrl and hit P, another print dialog window shows up, showing me the website that I am currently viewing, and allows for various printing options. To cycle through open applications, the Alt-Tab shortcut can be used for PC users. For Apple computers, Command and Tab can cycle forward through any open applications, while Command, Shift, and Tab together allows for cycling backward through any active programs. On my PC, by hitting Alt and pressing it down and tapping Tab, you can notice I can cycle between a variety of open programs. We have the text document I am using to type, the Movie Maker program I am using to make this video, both a Google Chrome and a Firefox web browser are open. I have Paint open for editing my little images, and OBS Studios is available for recording the screen capture of this video. By pressing Alt-Tab, I can switch between these windows with ease, rather than having to use the more cumbersome route of taking the cursor and going down to the toolbar and selecting the program I wish to use. Alright, well I think it's about time we put in a break here, so we can keep these videos to a manageable size. Stay tuned for part 2 coming soon. That's all for now. Safe journeys, and take care.